recognize the music. The Rouser, the Minnesota Golden Gopher Rouser. And this is well-deserved also because our next guest, not a football player, no, but he has accomplished some things that adults dream about doing. And they can only dream about it. And our next guest, this young man, is actually he is part of next year's Bassmasters Classic, the granddaddy of all fishing tournaments, the tournament of which careers are made. That's right. I used to say that to win the Classic is worth millions of dollars in your pocket, and just the opportunity to be there, which he earned, is a title in itself, and that's very cool. We welcome in to the Fan Outdoors conversation a young man whose name is Mr. Trevor Lo. Trevor, good morning and congratulations.
Hey, good morning to you guys as well, and thank you very much.
How exciting is that, Trevor? I mean, it's got to be beyond a dream come true, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely thrilling, and I'm just so blessed and I'm so humbled just to be able to partake in that Bassmaster Classic.
Fishing tournaments are something of which I participated, not on that level by any stretch of the imagination, but the adrenaline runs so high when you're fishing and trying to make the right decisions and trying to come up with a game plan. How did you do what you do? First of all, how did you start fishing? And then when you're getting into competitive fishing at this level, how did you, it's had to be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I definitely started fishing when I was younger. My dad would take me out on local lakes on a canoe, pan fishing, and when you're pan fishing, occasionally you catch a largemouth, and I just got hooked because of that. And as I got older, panfish starts to get a little bit boring, so you start to target bass more specifically. And fishing local derbies around here definitely sparked up an interest. Watching the Bassmaster Elite Series on TV. That was also awesome when I was a kid, just to see them go up on stage and have, just hundreds and thousands of fans just cheering them on and just the crowd roaring when they're holding up their fish. So that's what definitely instilled a passion into me.
So you mentioned, as you got a little bit older, panfish got a little boring for you, and you might have heard chuckles on the other end of the line because that'll come full circle on you. Because as you get older again, panfish also become very, very fun. I want to clarify, your last name is Lo, right? Trevor Lo. Right. Tell us a little bit about the competition that earned you the title national champion. How many colleges were there? What was that like?
Sure. We fished the national championship, which was a tournament with 81 teams in it.
Wow.
And these teams all had to qualify all over the nation through their conference qualifiers. And so what they do is each region in the U.S. has a conference qualifier where you have to make either the top 15 or top 13, depending on how many teams are fishing that tournament. So we fished in lacrosse for our conference qualifier, and that tournament had 82 teams, and they would allow 13 spots to advance to the national championship. And we took 13th by 7 ounces.
Wow.
And just barely squeaked in and made it to the national championship where there was 81 teams. And we fished the first 2 days, and after the first 2 days, they cut it down to the top 5. And we were sitting in 4th place going into day 3 and finished in 2nd place, which qualified us for the Classic Bracket Tournament. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're right.
The Classic Bracket Tournament, they take the top 4 teams that finished in the national championship, and they split you up individually, and they give everybody a boat to use, and everybody gets the exact same boat, which is a Nitro Z7. And you fish in a bracket-style tournament one-on-one depending on your seed. And if you beat your opponent that day, you go on to the next day. If you beat that opponent, you go to the final day. And if you beat your final opponent, then you qualify for the Bassmaster Classic.
That is that's a rigorous tournament.
Yeah, it was 9 days of 8 to 10 hour fishing.
Now, and this is all on the same body of water?
The national championship, the team portion, was on Lake Bay, and then the individual bracket tournament was just one pool south of it on Stevens Point Flowage.
And had you fished this water in your life before?
Never before, no.
How did you settle on where you were going to go, Trevor, and what you were going to do? Is it how did you do that? Because usually practice dictates where you're going to go and what you're going to do. But how did you determine it?
I definitely took a look at some maps, Google Earth, and all sorts of other contour maps prior to fishing the tournament, and just used any sort of local knowledge that I have on Minnesota rivers, and just tried to replicate what I do here over there. And we had 3 days of practice for Lake Dubay, and weren't really on the fish, but we saw a dam that we found some current in, and we asked our tournament director the night before the tournament, are we allowed to fish in the dam, because there were buoys saying boats keep out. And he told us we could, so we started out the first day fishing around it, and then finally working our way into the dam. And that's when we started catching fish. And then I believe there was probably some competitors who saw us fishing in there and like, hey, there's a buoy that says boats keep out. Are they allowed to fish in there? And the tournament director then shot out a mass text to the entire field saying, yes, you guys can go in there. And so we decided to pull out of that dam just so that we could possibly save some fish for the next day and not hammer them too hard. And as soon as we pulled out, boats started pulling in, and it became the spot to be in. So,
Well, what about tackle and technique? What did you do to catch fish that set you apart from the rest of the field?
Well, the first day when we fished in the dam, we were using moving baits. We were throwing crankbaits and jerk baits to try to create a reaction strike from these fish. And after the rest of the field started slowly working their way in there, the fish had started to see a lot of bait throughout the day, and they started to get really finicky about biting. So we had to slow down our approach, and we switched to a drop shot and a shaky head, which we could work more thoroughly and more slowly on the bottom.
And with that, your final day, if I read some of the reports, I think Dennis Anderson did a story on you also. If I read that correctly, you were right down to the final hour and still working on catching some fish. Is that accurate?
Oh yeah, we for the team portion of the national championship, we only had 2 fish on the last day, and if we had one more, we probably would have won the tournament with it.
Wow.
So in the photo, which is the photo in the Star Tribune, Dennis Anderson's article that appeared, it's online right now. There's $1 million grin on your face. Yeah, absolutely awesome. And you're holding up a smallie and a largemouth. Was there any strategy between targeting a largemouth or a smallmouth in a tournament like this, or you're just looking for whatever bass is biting?
Definitely looking for whatever bass is biting. The smallmouth seem to be more abundant than the largemouth, but on average, the largemouth seem to be bigger in size. I was fishing current, and if I could find current, usually I could find some smallmouth. And I practiced on some stagnant water, but they didn't seem to be very active in there. So I just happened to cross a largemouth in the process.
Well, Trevor, with the win, there came some benefits that you have to your disposal for the next year, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. I won a new Toyota Tundra and a new boat provided by one of our sponsors.
So is professional fishing your long-term future?
That would definitely be a dream come true. I mean, I would love to do something I love for a living. I mean, you do something you love, you never work a day in your life.
That's very true. That's very true. Trevor, with the Bassmasters Classic, when will you begin your homework on that, even though it's a year away?
The tournament is going to be in March, and definitely I'll try to start my homework as soon as I can. I'm trying to let all the dust settle and let all this soak in real quick, as quick as I can. I mean, it still feels like a dream to think that, there's thousands of college anglers all over the nation, and to say that it's me who qualified to fish the Bassmaster Classic is extremely humbling.
And you'll also be competing in one of the tournament series too, correct?
Yeah, the Bassmaster Opens.
And that in itself is a dream that many people fail to realize, and yet you're right on the cusp of realizing that. That's very cool. Congratulations!
Thank you so much.
We'll probably get in touch with you again, Trevor, as we get closer, if that's okay. Because
absolutely, yeah.
And I think that people would love to live, especially bass anglers, would love to live vicariously through your eyes and experience some of the things that you are. It's, I guess, congratulations isn't enough. It's just awesome.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it.
But we'll be in touch, my friend, and thank you so much for getting up early. It's just about a bass angler's, it's a bass angler's time. You got to get out there and get after them because they're going.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still trying to get adjusted to going back to my regular schedule. I mean, down in Stevens Point there, we were up every single morning at 4 for 9 days straight. So 6:30 is not too bad.
One last question: at the University of Minnesota, what pursuit are you dreaming of, and what's your degree going to be in?
I'm going for a marketing degree, and currently I'm a senior, but I have about a year and a half left of school.
Good for you. Congratulations again. Trevor, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me.
You bet. That's Trevor Lo.
National champion Trevor Lo. How about that, right, Billy?
Bassmaster bound Trevor Lo.
Great kid.
Bassmasters Classic bound Trevor Lo. How cool is that? How cool is that?
I could tell there's a little bit of envy in your voice with Trevor.
How cool is that? Wow. New truck driving at his disposal, pulling a brand new boat for 1 year, along with dollars for expenses and entry fees paid. How cool is that?
I think you would live vicariously through young Trevor.
I will love doing this too. I can hardly wait to talk to Trevor again. That's incredible.